Welcome to Fright Night for real. The people want to know what I'm on about. It's the anniversary of one of my all-time favourite vampire movies, that being Fight Night. The original, the classic Fright Night. That's right, it's its anniversary. And I like this one. I've figured as I'm talking a lot about the Planet of the Apes, why not this? But funny enough, also starred Robbie McDowell. That's right, Robbie McDowell. So I'm going to do a bit of history there, talk about the film that got me back into vampire movies. Why not? Why not? Now, in the past, I grew up watching a lot of the old Dracula films, whether it be the classic 1932 Ben Bedolsky's Dracula, whether it be the days of Christopher Lee when he played Dracula, whether it be the Brides of Dracula, Vampire Lovers, Queens of Evil, you name it, I grew up watching vampire films. But then after a bit, they went a bit shit, went a bit pornographic, just went shit. Um, but it wasn't until I started to rent videos out. There's the days when you rent videos out. And I remember Fright Night back in 1985 being a bid hit film. But at the time, I was too long to watch that film, having a bid. It was only in my later days when I could rent videos out. I started to rent out the original Fright Night. And I've got to admit, it got me back into vampire films. I like it because it's like an old Universal, an old Hammer House, jumps into the 80s. That's how I see it. And when you think about it, Fight Night is like a remake of The Rear Window. No one don't know what The Rear Window is? Classic film from the 50s. Rear Window, classic Alfred Hitchcock film, starring Teddy Peck. Where, if I remember right, he witnesses a murder and he realises it's his next door neighbour from this motel. And the neighbour discovers that he knows, and it's like, oh shit moment. This is what Fight Night basically is. It's like a young lad gets a new neighbour, and he discovers the new neighbour is killing women. But the only difference is, and the only twist is, he's a vampire. And I like the vampire in this, played by Christopher Landing, if I remember his name. I like him. He's smooth, he's debonair, he's everything I felt Dracula should have been. I felt Christopher Lee's Dracula should have been like that, but was not. So we're going to go with it. It starts off, he's making out with his girlfriend, and then they've got the Chortzo, again played by Robbie McDowell. Now, for people who may or may not know this, originally it's going to be played by two well-known Hammer actors who, funny enough, turned it down. Vincent Price turned it down for certain reasons, and one of all, Peter O'Trusson, that's right, the one who played Van Helsing, actually turned the role down to Peter Vincent. So Peter Trusson turned it down. I think at the time he was too old and he was too under the tooth, and after doing all the Hammer Houses and starring as Van Helsing, whether it be the Brides of Dracula or Horrors of Dracula and the later Dracula films, he didn't want to do anything to do with vampires. And Vincent Price, there's certain reasons why he didn't turn it down. So it went to Robbie McDowell, and I got to admit, I like Robbie McDowell because he sort of makes it like an Hammer House sort of actor, sort of like a soul presenter, presenting old Hammer House films or Universal vampire films. And it's a soul called Fight Night. So the lad sees Fight Night, he's a big fan of it, and then he sees the next door neighbour moving a coffin. He's trying to make out with his girlfriend, Gold Amos, he's having no go of it, and she thinks that he's pissing her about, and she walks off. Then you get his mate called Ed, which they nicknamed him Evil Ed. He does wind him up, calling him evil, which I thought was quite funny. And I do like the vampire's mate, who's basically half human. If people have never seen his actor before, he appeared in House 2, the second story, which funny enough played a character called Tara. And basically, you think he's human, and that's why it has a twist to it nearly at the end. So the lad's witnessing these murders. He sees one dude, yeah, he's being a bit of a perv, like most lads are. He's seen this dude, half naked, boobs and everything. And he just suffers to die. He's got fangs. That's the other thinks he's fucking doolally. He goes to peace. That's where you meet the main man, who basically obviously makes the lad look stupid, which you would think he's stupid if he says, "Oh yeah, my next door neighbour, he killed a woman." But not only that, he's a vampire. Naturally, you're going to think the guy's off his fucking rocker. I fucking would. So basically, the cop told him he comes in again, he'll arrest him for messing him about. And he locks the windows, thinks he's going to be safe. He sees Ed, evil Ed. And he advises him the only way a vampire can come in is if you fight him in by the rightful owner. Big mistake. The muffler fights him in. And I like him when he comes in. He's smooth, he's dead and mad, he wears smart toes. He can soothe a woman, but you know there's something evil about him. That's why I never liked the fucking remake. It's a kick in the balls compared to the vampire in this. And he's also kicking the balls. The actor that played the vampire in this gets killed and makes a shitty farty chest appearance in the remake. But by Jeffrey fucking Furrow. I fucking hate that guy. But this one, I like the vampire in this. It's like I say. And you've got the idea he's got the hots for his girlfriend, Amy, because she actually looks like a deer in new form. It never says what, but I'm looking at the photos. They say about the 16th century. Could be right, could be wrong. And there's a date bit where he breaks into the house. The mum's fast asleep. He's trying to attack him. He gets him by the stuff of his neck. He uses a pencil, stabs him in the hand. He's steaming blue bloody murder, and you see him not as good looking as he looks. Good makeup effects, all bristled up there, red eyes. He looks that tired and he goes, "No!" But then, for certain reason, he fucks off. And he's threatening him on the phone that he's going to get him and all this. And then that's when he turns to Robbie McDowell as Peter Vincent. At first, don't forget, Peter Vincent, he's only a soul presenter, he's only an actor. Naturally, he's going to think he's off his head. He's saying, "Oh, my next door neighbour is a vampire." And basically told the lad to. But then he's defending Ed. They go up to Peter Vincent. They convince him to blag him off because they think the lad's going to do something stupid, being tired. And then they go to the house. It's only when Peter Vincent looks in the mirror and sees that he's not someone in affection, just like the old vampire films, that the lad, being Tiny Brewster, was spot on. It sort of ends a bit where Ed's walking the toss, he gets taxied by the vampire, because the vampire notices there's a broken bit in the mirror, just stuff is that Peter Vincent seeing it. So he gets Ed, bites him on the neck, turns him into a vampire. But I do love the music in it, which I've actually got. I'm not shitting you, I've got it and all. MP3 players. I love the music in it where he's chasing them in the nightclub, definitely 80s. He's chasing them in his 80s night bar, and you hear music goes, "The only way to go is you, is you. You could be the night for me and for you. The only way," and there's other songs in it as well, you know what I mean? There's loads of Jake songs. Another bit where he gets in the nightclub, Amy stares at her, she's dancing with him, dances a bit warmly but not too in your face. It's not like Basic Instincts where he's trapping about the arse every 2 minutes. You know what I mean? He's dancing away. Charlie sees it. He tries to come to the rescue, but he makes a mistake. And I do know one of the bouncers who he thinks slicks his fault. He actually appeared a couple of days before this in the third Friday the 13th. He was one that paid the bike off, the one that has his arm cut off, the one that paid the bike off. He's the one that plays a bouncer in this. And another bit where the vampire does that, and his eyes go red and he slicks his fucking throat. Ed's trying to get Peter Vincent and he puts a toss on his forehead. So he goes to Peter Vincent. Peter Vincent believes him. They go to the house. There's a date bit where a good bit of practical effect actually. There's a bit of practical effect where Ed's turning into like a wolf and he's chasing Peter Vincent and he spears him with a wooden stake. These effects, this is one reason why I fucking hate the remake, totally forgettable. The effects in this are brilliant. He's dying, you're feeling sorry for Ed, he's slowly turning human, his body's changing, and he slowly dies. The effects are just brilliant, and you feel for him. You feel sorry for Robbie McDowell as Peter Vincent. He did what he had to do. It either would have been him or him. He made the right decision, or he would have been dead. So he had no option but to do that, and it broke his heart, but he had to. But all the way through the film, he had no faith, because in reality, he's an actor. He's only playing the role as a vampire killer. Another bit where he's watching an old hammer house, and you notice he's on purpose, he's got the stake the one way, which he did that on purpose for laughs, because, you know what I mean, there's a bit of comedy in this as well. So he goes back to the house, he tries to save Charlie Brewster. Oh, just cut the story short, he turned Amy into a vampire. But I do love the bit where they kill the main character you thought was human. They shoot him, and he's getting up, shoot him again, he's getting up, shoot him in the head, does fuck all. And the only way to kill him is a stake, wooden stake. And he, again, down to practical effects. I would miss that golden error. He's melting in front of them. The stin's coming off. Turns into a skeleton. Oh, I miss practical effects. I will miss it. That's why I think CGI tis arses. And not in a good way. But they get the vampire. I love the bit where he says that line, "Welcome to Fright Night." And I do love the bit where, because I love the film, Peter Finch's got no faith. You've got to have faith for the toss to work, or it's just never using a fucking ornament. And Vampire will laugh at it, it's just a toss up your ass. But he has faith, he believes in it. That's what always got me in Fight Night Part 2. It never works again. Because I love it, he gets the faith. And your thing is, you turns into that bat, good practical effect. But I do believe the bat monster originally was going to be used in the movie Ghostbusters, but they felt it was too frightening, so they used the bat monster instead for this film, being Fight Night. So they get him again, they break the windows, the vampire gets blown into dust, he burns into fire, and Amy turns into a human again. Because most vampire movies, if you kill the head vampire before dawn, they turn human again. So Amy's turned human again. Later on, it's like 1 month or 1 day after, or 1 night after, he's making out with his girlfriend. Peter Finson says an epic line. "This one does not star me." You get a typical sequel bait ending with red eyes. Never went anywhere, but you did get a sequel in the late 80s. Sad to say it wasn't as successful as this one, but I still like it. But I prefer it's a hell of a lot better than the fucking remake. Again, starts rubbing me down. But I do like the happy ending. You get a date song. There's some noisy motorbikes riding a toss. Thank you, mate. Sorry about the noisy motorbike if you heard it. But where was I? So you get a date song. "Fight night, night, night. You're in front of me tonight." I'm not going to do the rest, I'll kill it. But you get a date song and an happy ending. And I like Fight Night. Fight Night is the movie what got me back into vampire movies. Staked me in the art, got me back into vampire movies. So it's definitely going to get a 10-star rating for me. I like rubbing me down as Peter Vincent. I like the character Charlie Brewster. I like Amy. She's not like fucking over the top dude with false tits, false personality. She's naturally pretty. She's natural. She's not like a fucking Hollywood star. I like Ed. I feel sad when he gets killed. He gets turned into a vampire. And I like Fight Night. The remake, I fucking spies. The second remake, a remake of this, only with a female. But this one, no photos with it. So again, without ado, 10-star rating for me. Into then, be smart, be safe. See you later.